If you've read the article, you'll know that trying to manage all of the different aspects of online safety is impossible for one person. There's just too many different things that need to be done that in turn need different knowledge and experience. This is just one of the reasons why a whole school approach is so important. So what can we do about this? How can we effectively manage all of the different aspects so that we have a standardized and cohesive approach? Well, establishing a group that meets regularly is by far the best way of helping you with this. It allows others to highlight things you may not know, to raise issues you may not have thought about, and to help with areas where you have limited knowledge or no knowledge, and of course to ask questions that you may not think of, and importantly to devolve some of the tasks and actions to others. But before you establish a group, there's a few things that you need to think of. First and foremost, what are the outcomes of the group? Any project or initiative must start with the outcomes. What do you want to achieve? As this will lay the groundwork for everything else. Example outcomes could be things such as to utilise wide and varied knowledge and opinion of others with different skill sets, to establish a standardised and cohesive approach to online safety, to monitor the impact of online safety in the curriculum, what's working and what isn't, to monitor the effectiveness of technical tools used in the school such as net support DNA and your internet filter, and to establish any patterns of negative behaviour or concern. These are just a few, but you get the idea. Then given these outcomes, you need to decide who will be in the group. In an ideal world, you would have a wide range of persons, and this would obviously depend on the size of the school. Clearly, an infant school would be very different to a large secondary academy, but these would be my recommendations. Firstly, your safeguarding governor to chair the group and of course to provide oversight of its activities. You would have representation from senior and middle leaders, and not forgetting your designated safeguarding lead. Parents, a really important addition. If you can get a couple of parents involved, that's fantastic. I would definitely be involving the students. We can't discount their thoughts and opinions, particularly around aspects such as behaviour and incidents and the curriculum. If you've got one, your neighbourhood police officer or PCSO, or if you're really lucky, your school liaison officer, as they would bring a wealth of local intelligence in regards to issues that are happening in the community. And last but not least, you should be involving your network manager or your IT support, and of course curriculum leads as well. So once you've decided on who should be involved, you'll want to delegate specific roles and tasks. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, as most of the roles will be pretty much self-explanatory, but I'll give you an example of something I come across quite commonly. In school, you'll have a huge range of technology. You'll also have certain technical tools that mitigate risk. For example, the most common ones being your firewalls, your filter and your antivirus software. You may also have tools such as net support DNA, which do a whole lot more and have a variety of reporting functions that would be hugely beneficial to safeguarding leads, for example. Historical records and reports provide evidence of patterns of behaviour, risks and concerns. But who's looking at these reports strategically? Do senior leaders know the variety of reports that are available, and are they made aware of any patterns of concerning activity? Once you've decided the outcomes and the ideal persons to be involved, you can then consider what their specific responsibilities might be. They'll all have expertise and essentially different ideas or opinions. For example, the responsibilities of your IT support person might be to ensure that the group is kept fully updated with any network security incidents or areas of concern, and to advise on the correct use and implementation of filtering categories to ensure age-related filtering is appropriate to the school, to produce weekly reports listing the top 10 block websites or increase of use in concerning terminology or language, This type of information is hugely useful to the designated safeguarding lead to see if there's a correlation between activities that they're seeing and to the curriculum leads to see if there's any extra work needed in certain areas. And of course to senior leaders and governors to ensure the correct processes and the procedures are in place and backed up by good, effective policy. All of this and so much more can contribute significant information to you, the school and the school community as a whole. There is a whole raft of information available from different people and different tools that can contribute to that information. Having all of that centralised and discussed regularly, even if it's just once a term, is not only useful in terms of strategic planning, but it also helps in regards to the type of information you're putting out to the community and the way in which you do it. And this is the ideal task to get the parents involved in. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you have to establish a completely different group. The chances are you already have so many other groups and committees. So given the outcomes that you've considered and who can assist with those outcomes, it may be that you've already got a group or a committee in the school that can tie in with this. Don't think you need to be reinventing the wheel. So by now I'm sure you've seen and heard enough from me. Everything I've just spoken about and more is contained within the guide on my website. This includes examples of roles and responsibilities and even gives advice on what you should consider within your meetings. If and when you establish your group, pay particular attention to the IT tools that are available to you and the reports that they can generate. This is commonly one of the weakest aspects I find. I've personally come across a whole range of child protection issues that senior leaders had no idea about. Have a look at the guide. I've helped many schools with this and they've all said that the group has made a significant impact, but there's always room for improvement. So if you have had successes or otherwise, or if you've had particular difficulties, or if you think there are areas that could be improved upon, then just let me know. I'll look at these and I'll update the guide if necessary, and I'll also let the thousands of other schools I'm in contact with know as well. It's all about working together.